Hey guys, how's it going? My name's ᴍᴏʀᴇ, and today I wanted to make a video for you guys on the brand new September content drop update for Sievert, and I wanted to talk about one addition in particular. It's the new AP buckshot for shotguns. This new shotgun round is so good that I think it deserves its own video to talk about. Yes, it is actually that good, and I think it makes shotguns very viable in Sievert now. So let's just start from the beginning. The new buckshot, the AP buckshot, was added with the September content drop armory update in Sievert on the 30th. It's called AP Buckshot. It has 45 penetration, an 80% damage buff, a minus 120% accuracy debuff, and plus 30 recoil debuff, and it has 0.3 durability burn when you fire it. So what makes this ammo so good? Well, it actually has the highest armor penetration out of all the shotgun rounds in the game. For a long time, we've only had 3 shotgun rounds. We've had regular buckshot, slugs, and then AP slugs. And the AP slugs did the most armor penetration with 35. With the high level of damage that shotguns do in this game, it was enough to compete against like class 4 and maybe class 5 guys if you can place your shots really well. But past that, it didn't really enable you to use shotguns against any class 6 dudes and made them not really viable for the late game. So at least for me, I found myself just completely abandoning shotguns in the late game in favor of things like the EC308 and other, assault rifles that use M61 or 7.62x39 BP and those kinds of ammos. But this ammo is actually so good that I can use it to 2 or 3 shot level 5 and 6 hunters and bosses like 괊ᴇ. I can take out 괊ᴇ in like 2 or 3 hits with this. 1, 2, 3. Yeah! Rest in piss, 괊ᴇ, you little freak. So with all this in mind, I wanted to take a look at the shotguns in the game and see which ones might perform the best with it. I picked out 5 shotguns. We're leaving the double barrel shotguns. We're not talking about those. You shouldn't really be using those in any context. Honestly, pistols are better than those things. So we've got the CC12, the Boulder, the Staz-12, the NB153, and the Pega-12, which is the new one that they added with the update along with this ammo. There's also the MP153, but that one is not very good either. You can't mod it at all, really, and its stats are not great out of the box, so we're not going to talk about that one either. So just looking at these guns in their stock configuration, we'll look at the modded versions that I've made up in a second. In its stock configuration, the CC12 is kind of a jack of all trades. It doesn't really excel in any one area, but the potential is there to add a drum magazine that gives it the highest capacity out of all the shotguns, bringing it up to 22 rounds. The Boulder is actually the best for recoil. It doesn't show it right here because in its stock configuration, it doesn't actually come with a stock, but you can put one on there and you can get the recoil down to like 70. It's actually really good. And then you can also get a bigger drum magazine for this one that ups the capacity to 12, I believe. The Staz-12 is going to be your best bet if you want to go full damage. It does 55 damage compared to the lowest damage out of all of these, which is like 50. 50 damage is pretty comparable for like the lowest damage in like the base level damage in most shotguns. But the Staz-12 does 55, which is really nice. This one also comes without a stock from the shop, but you can buy one and attach it to tame that recoil a little bit. The NB153 is going to be your best bet if you want accuracy, and I will be talking more about accuracy in just a minute. It is kind of an issue, especially with the buckshot, but at its base configuration, this comes with an accuracy of 40, which is pretty good. And the Pega-12 down here, this is the new shotgun that came in with the update. This is kind of a jack of all trades. It also does capacity really well. You can get a drum magazine that brings it up to 20, just 2 short of the CC12. It does 50 damage, 25 accuracy, 159 recoil, and 26 ergonomics. It's a little bit of a jack of all trades, master of none type of deal. I've got a modded out one up here. Now let's compare it to the modded shotguns that I've made here. And you might be asking yourself, why, ᴍᴏʀᴇ, did you put sniper scopes on all of these guns? Well, this is the accuracy problem that I just alluded to earlier. Because accuracy gets such a massive debuff with the buckshot rounds, it doesn't do it with the slug rounds because it's just 1 round flying through the air, and the accuracy debuff simulates the spread of the buckshot, right? It randomizes the spread of like the 9 or 10 pellets that are coming out of the gun. So to tighten up the spread of the buckshot, I wanted to maximize the accuracy as much as I can. And these big scopes do improve accuracy. The good thing is you don't need to actually use them. You don't need to actually scope in with them to get an advantage out of that accuracy. It just applies to the gun at its base level, its base stats, and you get that accuracy buff no matter if you're ADSing or just hip firing. This would actually be a better comparison to show accuracy between these two guns because the Boulder has 25 accuracy and the NB153 has 40 accuracy. It's quite a difference. So let's shoot the Boulder. That's the spread on the buckshot. And then if we switch to the NB153, That is quite a tighter spread. I can see it at the edge of the screen there. That is quite a bit better. But obviously you're not going to be shooting targets with shotguns way out to this range. It's going to matter most within these rings here. This is the like the maximum effective range of shotguns here. I'll have to play with these for a bit to determine if like the trade-off for the accuracy is worth it. But comparing these guns modded, with the ⴍᴀ we have 1 ergonomics and we have 32 accuracy and 118 recoil. Brought that down quite a bit. The US stock is doing some overtime here. This is a really good stock for EC weapons. The CC12 is not as good for recoil, but it has that capacity. It's got 22 round capacity and accuracy is pretty respectable. It's 38 on that. The Boulder's going to be the champion of recoil control. It only has 70 recoil in this configuration. That's kind of amazing. And capacity is pretty respectable too. It only has 12 rounds, but 12 rounds is a decent amount for, especially if you're using the new ammo. Stas 12 is going to be the champion when it comes to damage, so if you're worried about that, maybe go with this gun. The NB153 is going to have the best accuracy, and it has a little bit of an advantage over the ⴍᴀ and the CC12 when it comes to damage. It's got 53 instead of 50. And down here we have the MP133. I thought I'd show it off anyways. The only thing you can do with this is put a scope on it. The suppressor doesn't work with this gun. The suppressor helps recoil control, but this one, you can't use it for whatever reason, so the recoil is massive, 170. The accuracy is pretty good on it. That's pretty much the only thing I can say. It's 42, but I wouldn't recommend using this. It even has a lower magazine capacity than pretty much every gun here. All of these have 6 or higher. If you want to know what the difference is between a really low ergo gun and a really high ergo gun, I have just a ⴍ here. It has 74 ergo compared to this one, which has 1 ergo. Ergonomics affects weapon swap speed. We can swap to this gun really quickly, and it's slower to swap to this gun. You can see that. Pretty slow to switch to the ⴍᴀ. And then it also affects scope sway and crosshair. When you're moving your crosshair around, how quickly it shrinks and you get back to your maximum accuracy. So with the ⴍ here, you can see when I move the crosshair, it's very quick to shrink and get that accuracy back. But then when I switch to the ⴍᴀ, you can see first off the crosshair is wider. It's wider at a similar range. And then when I wiggle it around, it's kind of slower to shrink down. And then when we actually scope in, the scope is very slow to move and track with my actual like mouse aim. It lags way behind with the ⴍᴀ. And now if we switch over to the ⴍ and I scope in, it's very quick, very responsive. Is that worth a little boost in accuracy? I don't know. I gotta play with these guns and find out. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I just wanted to show off this new shotgun ammo to you. I think I've decided to do a shotguns only playthrough, and I'll probably be doing that after the ⴍᴀ mod playthrough, which I'm currently doing. I'm actually really excited to play through the game with just shotguns, because this new ammo, man, it shreds, and it just makes me really excited to take shotguns into the late game now. Make sure to get in the comments and tell me what you think of the new shotgun and the new ammo added with this new update, and tell me your shotgun builds too. If you're a shotgun enjoyer in Sievert, tell me your preferred shotgun and tell me how you spec it out, how you mod it out. What's your playstyle? How do you use shotguns in Sievert? Thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.